Shaz. That's my artist name. I'm Sharif. I'm 21. I'm from Southwest London. As an artist, I would say I'm kind of UK rap, UK sort of rap. Like I like to sort of rap about things. Obviously, I've got a lot of friends who are drill producers, so I might do that sometimes. But that's not really like what I'm about. I'm sort of just wanting to give a good message on the track. Like I look up to artists in the past, like say American artists like Nas, and that's good. And then like you say like J. Cole nowadays from America, and then you look at the UK and you've got artists like Dave, like Stormzy, and they're really telling like the truth. Like they're really telling what it actually is, and that's how I kind of want to be, because I feel like anyone, like I could go on a track and I could have a really good song and it could be all about a load of shit. Like it could literally all be about like a load of crap, but if you're not telling your own personal truth, then you're not doing your thing, innit? My mom had a really big thing for ABBA, so obviously ABBA, I was kind of growing up on that. So Mamma Mia, Dancing Queen, I know all the lyrics, brilliant. Bring me to karaoke. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that. But my mum was also quite a fan of like sort of jazzy, sort of soul music, like George Benson. That sort of stuff was good. So for me personally, something that does stand up, like I do enjoy it occasionally, but I'm not as big as it would be as she would be on it. But yeah, that was kind of growing up. When I got to like 13, 14, Linkin Park, what kind of music there? Mike Shinoda used to kind of rap on the rock beats. I like that sort of different thing. When I was a child, yeah, I used to like the song Electric Avenue. I don't actually know who it's by, but it was a good song. It's my first CD. The first song I ever downloaded on my phone was Mad by Neo, I think it was. So I've always kind of liked that sort of rappy sort of music. I really like electronic sort of music as well, but say my first personal contact with music, if I'm being real, is probably when I was a child. Like I used to write songs. Like I went through a bit of a rocky stage when I was like adolescent, like 12, 13 or stuff, but before then I still sort of used to write songs like that. But the music that I'm making now, the first proper sort of contact was like my first year of college. So when was that, 2015? So I want to say I was like 17 when that was my first proper, and that's when I sort of started rapping. And no, it wasn't brilliant because it just first started, but then since then, so like three years ago, I sort of was my first proper contact. But my whole life I've quite enjoyed music. It's been a very big part of my life. I think all emotions are important. Like you can put anything into any emotion you have, you can put in. I feel like if you're happy or sad, but I feel like the two most important ones would probably be maybe like anger and sadness. I feel like if something is making you physically angry, and I'm not like the best sort of person at all, like I get too angry at something sometimes, I'm sure we all do, but like I feel with anger is kind of, maybe this is just something personally, but I feel like if I'm annoyed about something enough, I will have that dedication to it, and to when it's something I try and work on. I don't want to be, because it's quite, I'd say, petty. People who make decisions sort of in anger you can't go back. If you've done something, it's like toothpaste. You squeeze the whole tube of toothpaste out, and you can't put it back in the tube. So like when you're angry, you let out, say things, you do things you wouldn't take back. But I say, for music, definitely, if something has annoyed you or pissed you off, then anger will be good. I mean, like even in rap, like you see all these diss tracks, even like Drake and that today. But then I say probably the most important out of those two is sadness, like depression, heartbreak, that sort of stuff, because that's when you're really in touch with your emotions, when you've been hurt, or when you've been scarred by something, or something's made you feel really upset, or you feel helpless or worthless or something. It can really like bring you up. Like for me, I know at times I've not felt brilliant, like not felt the brilliantest, but I felt the best. And I've wrote a song, I've spat some bars, I've made music, I've listened to music, I've heard this, someone else has showed me music, I've gone out and heard music, and it's made me feel a lot better. So I feel like music is one thing. Like we wouldn't have half the music that we have today without anger or sadness. I feel like, and although they're negative emotions, like happiness is good. Like I like feeling happy, I like feeling like love, I like feeling all these good things. Wouldn't anyone? But you can't feel them all the time. It's up and downs. It's like a heart monitor. If you haven't got ups and downs, you know. But yeah, definitely sadness and anger are probably, I think, the two most important. Well, Well, as I said before, like when I was younger, I used to just write on paper. I'd say probably I was about maybe 8 or 9 years old the first time I started writing stuff. I feel like at that point you get like from probably like after like 12 years old, you start going to that sort of stage, more independent thinking. I think when you're a child, you're sort of doing whatever. So I didn't really take it that seriously, but when I was a child, I used to love stuff. Man, I love like Lego and stuff and stuff like that. And I remember when I was really younger and I used to play with that stuff, like I'd like make the little, like the Lego people, yeah, they'd like do a little concert and stuff, but and then like I'd write music for them, and then I just started writing music for myself, just made my stuff. At school, I remember we kind of, like my friend, he played the drums, my other friend did violin and guitar, and this was really young then, so it wasn't anything really serious, but we kind of just sort of I don't know, I wouldn't say we wrote proper music, but like when you're at school, you have the break and you're kind of like a child, you don't really know what to do. If you don't want to go and play football, because I wasn't really an athletic kid, you'd want to do other stuff. So that was it, really. With the music I'm making now, as I say, I was probably my first year of college, probably when I was about 16, 17, when I started writing raps and started thinking this is good, because I wrote my first ones and it was good. I remember actually the first proper rap song I wrote was it was actually like a diss track. Someone had annoyed me, and like rather like it was in a situation like I couldn't, like rather than me saying like the things I had to say because it was so sort of messy, I thought like I need to get this expression out somewhere, and then I just wrote it in a track, and then from then I just used like music and writing to do my emotions. But it'd always been like from when I was younger, I'd wrote stuff on that as well. But yeah, like when I was like 16, 17 was probably the first time I properly like tried to write music. Like I got a backing track and I wrote lyrics. But no, even before then I'd still done things. But I say properly about 16, 17. I went through a point in my life where I wasn't doing the best things, and I probably didn't have the best influences around then, and that was probably like feelings of sort of like anger or whatever it was. But obviously I accept it, it's part of me, I have to move on. You can't change the past, you have to accept it and come through it. I think in the message I want to give with the music is like I don't really have like the biggest platform yet, but when I get there, like if I get there, whatever, I want to kind of just the truth, just bring people's attention to things that they're not so much thinking about. Like with my one song Say, it's like I wanted to say in that, yeah, like what am I gonna have, like the whole message, like the last line is so when I die what will I have left. It's like I want to say when you die all this stuff won't matter, like the clothes I'm wearing right now, the shoes on my feet, the drink, the wallet, the money, I can't take any of that to the grave. Like for me, I'm an atheist, so I believe when you die, you die. My dad was a Muslim, my mum was a Catholic, so like obviously that's kind of like a bit weird. Like they're very religious, both of them. They both thought like, you know, like oh there's this and that. For me, I don't think there's anything when you die. So with the music, I mean, like I want to project something that's like you can do this. There's no you can't. Like I want to make people feel better. I want to make people feel happy. And whether I make a song that's a complete like load of shit, and it's like, oh, I'm in the club doing this, that makes someone happy. That's good. But more time, like more often, yeah, I'd rather do a track that actually brings people's attention to something and makes them think, oh, okay, maybe, you know, doing this, maybe going here, maybe going and getting drunk every night and posting it on social media for people's attention I've never met is not what I should do. Maybe I should like work on me a bit. Like I want people to sort of think, you know, like think about themselves and think about bettering and improving themselves. But more importantly, it's being happy. Like I want people to feel happiness, like to feel happy from it. I wouldn't say there's a singular event. I'd say there was a combination of things in my life that just started going. Like I started writing music, probably I had like situation wasn't good. I wanted to express some stuff, but I couldn't express it, so I started writing music then. And then obviously I was going down like a bad path at that time, and I started making some some mistakes I shouldn't have done, and the whole thing that stuck with me through the whole of it was music. The whole time I wrote music, the whole time I did stuff with music, and music kind of got me out of it, because I made tracks and stuff, and then I like started making decisions to make my life better, and I'm trying to improve my life, and I just jumped off of music for a bit. I didn't do that, like music at all, like I wasn't doing anything, like nothing. And then I just came to the fact one day, and I was like, why am I still feeling bad? Like, why am I still feeling like bad? I've improved all these things that were wrong before, and what's wrong? And I realised, like, it just took me a while off to go to the studio and stuff. It's like, music was the part of the reason that I got out of this. So to not continue it is it's stupid. Like, I shouldn't have done it. So I just started making music and stuff again, and then here I am today, just trying to do it, I guess, yeah. I think it's a bit of a paradox, really. I think it's kind of on the one hand, you have so much talent, you have so much art, you have so many independent, so many people that are trying to do musical things in such a small place, that there's only a certain amount of space in London. London's never going to change size. London's always going to be from where it is to where it is. So you're always going to have the same studios, the same recording places, the same places. People who have the same interests are going to socialise in the same places. So on the one hand, it's a very good thing, because you've got access to so much talent, so much different people. Like, so someone might be making, you might go to the studio, and the person in the studio next to you might be making like K-pop, and then you might be making like UK drill, or like you might have someone that's making rock, and then the person next to them is making like love songs. Like, it's a juxtaposed type thing. So on the one hand, I think it's very good for diversity in music. It's good to merge the lines. On the other hand, I think it's a very kind of like bad place for music, because you can get very saturated, because 3 or 4 different groups of people from East London, from close areas, are going to make the similar kind of music, and even though they might have their own unique sound, like, you might see that this is what's on the this is what I hear on the radio, this is what's getting loads of views, this is what's getting loads of likes, I should be like that. So people water down their own stuff to make it bigger, and it's quite a bad thing. Like, as an artist, you want people to listen to you. Like, there's nothing worse than someone just talking. Like, people who are quote unquote crazy, they just talk and they just say stuff, and it doesn't appear to have any meaning. But like, that's the thing. Like, you're just going to keep doing stuff that's generic, and it doesn't have any personal meaning, but you're doing it because you think that other people are going to like it. Just do what makes you as an artist, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, does it? But like, if it does, then, you know, you've kind of made it. But yeah, London overall, it's a juxtapose. It's very, on the one hand, very, very, very good, very diverse, very, very different. So many different people. International place, like one of the oldest cities, back to Roman times and stuff. Like, one of the oldest places, very good central hub, very good. On the other hand, that can be very bad. So no one's the same person. People change constantly. Like, I am not the same person I was an hour ago. Like, I'm not the same person I was a year ago. Or people change constantly. It's constant adaptation, evolution. It's mental, physical, whatever. But people, like, being afraid to share your art. People, you should share your art. If you want to do it, you should share it, because what is someone going to say? Someone's going to hate on your thing and say, "Oh, this is shit. This is rubbish. You're a load of rubbish. I don't like your music at all." That's your opinion. It's subjective. Someone might hear your music across the other side of the world. Someone might hear your song in Australia and be like, "You know what? This is brilliant. This is good music. I like this." And that's where you get your thing from. Obviously, like, I can't really comment on like fan bases and stuff like that. But like, if you are trying to be an artist, you should just share your stuff, man. You should just come across. And it's a big thing that I've had as well, because like, I get quite anxious sometimes about the stuff that I made. Like, oh, is it going to be like, oh, is it going to be good? Can I say this? Can I say that? Just say what you want to say. Just be your truth, because as soon as you get past that barrier, there's more freedom. It's a lot easier for you, because the person 50-75% of the time that's holding you back is yourself. There's no one else. If you sign a record deal and like the label saying you can only release this much and you want to release more, that's a simple example of being held back. But being an independent artist and not releasing a song because you're scared of what someone else is going to say, let them say it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to get bagged. You're not going to go to prison. You're not going to get like killed. Like, well, you know, dependent on what you say, but like, you're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, if you've got your truth, share your truth, man. Like, be honest to you, because if you're honest to you, like, there's not a lot of honest people in the world. Like, it's a sad thing to say. Like, I hope that everyone's honest. Maybe I'm a bit naive to say that everyone can be good, but like, be honest to yourself, and then other people can't lie about you. Other people can't make you into something you're not, because if you know who you are and what you are, you know what your music is, you know what it wants to be, and you keep doing that, you're gonna be you. You're not gonna like be influenced. So like, other influence is good, but you're not gonna be influenced by what other people say. If someone is sitting there and doing nothing musically and they don't like it, they don't like it. They're not someone you're gonna. That's not someone you're gonna be a fan base. Fine, they don't listen to you, don't listen to you. But yeah, be true to yourself and release what you got to release, man. Just don't be anxious. Like, it's hard to say people are anxious, but be confident to a certain extent. Be confident in yourself, I think. That's how it is. So I have this one, it's like, you don't even know, G, this life is kind of lonely. Words I'm heeding them, this is my civil disobedience. Bourgeois extravagance at your parties and gatherings. Farag and caviar to Stella Artois and canisters. With that bit, I was trying to say, like with civil disobedience, Farag, he went into, he was a political kind of philosopher. He went into a cabin and he lived by himself. And it was just away from like society and stuff, because it was something to do with tax. He didn't really want to pay taxes, and then his aunt ended up paying it, and he got let out of jail, and then after that he wrote the cabin, the thesis, the essay. But like, I wanted to try and think, because if you engage with your own personal philosophy, like as I was saying before, it's speaking your truth, speaking your thing. Like, I wanted to say, engage with, this is how I express myself. Like, this is the music, this is how I express myself. And then when I was saying, like, bourgeois extravagance at your parties and gatherings, Farag and caviar to Stella Artois and canisters. It's like, you see a lot of people like okay, so Stella Artois is a cheap beer, canisters, nos, like, you know, laughing gas balloons. Like, you have people who have a lot of money, yeah, and they are rich, and they have caviar, Farag, all this stuff, champagne, whatever. And then you have, like, take something very, very simply, like student. You go to any student house, you're probably going to see canisters. You're probably going to see a can of Stella. You're probably going to see a can of beer. It's like, living as a student is probably the brokest you can kind of be, like the bit without money, yeah. But like, then again, it's even not balanced, because you have some people that are really rich at uni and get money from parents, but obviously I'm not going to get into that now. But then when I was trying to say, like, bourgeois extravagance, I was just trying to hit between the different ideologies. So you've got like Thoreau, how he wants to live, and then you've got like Marx, that's bourgeoisie, that's like communism. And obviously, like, with communism, it's not the I wouldn't say it's the best way to live at all, but like, the fundamental idea that everybody is equal is a good thing. And I think if you take it into a university setting, although like people have parents that are richer and easier to support them, if someone's at a party, they're at a rave, they're at a motive, like whatever, people, although not everyone's going to see it like that there, you are essentially all equal, because you're in the same place doing the same thing. So someone might go home and they might have like all this stuff handed to them, but then when they're in this certain place, when you're in a whatever, you're the same as everybody there, you're equal. And although like, I don't believe that communism is like the best, like I do kind of engage in liberal ideology, but I don't believe that communism is the best thing for at all, because it doesn't work in practice. Someone gets all the power. But on the playing field, that when we can find examples in today's society where everybody is equal, it's good, because there's a lot of inequality in today's society. As much as we're more equal and more than anything, like, we're more equal than we've ever been in today's society, where if you can find a point where we actually are equal, is very, very interesting, because you might have someone from a certain area, and although everybody else in that area is very rich, they might be very poor. Or although everybody in that area might be very social, they might not be very social, or vice versa. If they're very social, other people in that area might not be social. It's like, he's trying to explore our differences, juxtapose them, and accept them. Just be who you are. But people, at the end of the day, everyone's a person. Like, I don't see anybody watching this, or anybody going past, or anybody here, like, I don't see myself as above you. I don't see, like, you probably don't see like me as above you, or you as above me, or like, I don't see you as above me. Just, if you look at your fellow person as like a person, rather than just like a status and a socio-economic figure, a representation of something. No one's a representation of anything. Like, someone is a representation of themselves, and that's the thing I need. Like, I was trying to get with this track, because just a representation of me, really, like what I think about things. I don't want to be aligned into categories, and with the music, that's how I can speak, that's how I can get my voice. So I want to say, this is what I am, look at my actions. I'm not gonna lie, when I first think of art, when someone says art, I think of Mona Lisa, I think of paintings. That's what my initial reaction of art. Now maybe that's a bit like, I don't want to say naive, but yeah, but that's what I think maybe the definition of art. But like, really, if you actually properly look into it, like, art is something, it's expression, it's a form of expression. Like, a lot of places don't have freedom of expression. I think we're lucky to live in a Western society where you can express yourself in any way that you want to. And I think whether it be music, be drawing, be okay, maybe the best way I can put it is, my friend, he has tattoos, and he gets loads and loads and loads of different tattoos, but all of them have a meaning to him. And like, I don't really like tattoos. I've got no tattoo on my body. I probably won't ever get a tattoo. Like, if I do, hold me to it. But his way of expression is like, this one means this, like this one's this, and like, they look really cool, man. They look really good, and I like them. Like, obviously, I don't think I see tattoos, but on him, I think they look brilliant. And then that's his expression. Like, I see him now. Like, I've seen him from the beginning when he had like one, and then I've seen him to now where he's got like his whole arm done here, he's got one here, and he's got like a couple starting here, and it's like, that's how he expresses himself. Like, that's different. Like, and the way I see that is someone who's being very, I'm not been against tattoos at all, but someone who's not very thought that they're something that I'd want to get, and then seeing my friend get it, it's very interesting. Like, it's opened my mind a little bit to it. Like, something I was probably a bit back, but yeah, expression is any form of creative. I say, like, express yourself. However, like, people might want to like spray paint, people might want to write a song, people might want to paint a picture, people might want to go and take a picture. Someone might take a picture of like this grass over here, and it might be like a really good angle, really high quality, but it has more meaning than you just on the face value. If something someone has made with emotion that has more meaning than you just sort of look at it, that's expression. I think that is art. Okay, let me put this. I watched a video the other day, and it was about like humans. It was called like Humans Need Not Apply. Like, I think it's called like CGP on something on YouTube if you want to look that up. But it was about how human jobs are going to be replaced by computers and stuff, and it was basically saying about all the industries, and the industries that employ the most people are all the ones that can be replaced with robots. So like manufacturing, transport, they've got like self-driving cars, and soon that's going to be reality. Like, so imagine, like, think about Uber. If you get Uber home from somewhere, or like a Bolt, or like, I don't even know where, Addison, yeah, that's all a driver. That's someone's living. That's their livelihood. They can pick a job. But in maybe a few or so years, we'll have self-driving cars. So that's a whole industry done. I feel like why we need expression, why we need art is, well, there you go, art is expression, but like, why we need it is for me personally, I can give you my answer, which is, I need it for like therapeutic. I need to get out how I'm saying. Maybe some of us aren't the best of expressing how we actually feel about things, and we might not go the best way about doing it, and that might lead us to making some really stupid decisions off of emotions purely. Like, I do think you need emotions to make a decision making, but I don't think you can make a properly informed decision with emotion. And I think that we need this sort of stuff because, like with the video that I was watching, it said that it might push us more into sort of creative jobs, more into musicians, artists, video editing, whatever, all the sort of like creative sort of stuff. But fundamentally, even without the fact of like technology looming, but even without that, like, it's, I think we need to just for me, I just need to stay sane. Like, I need art to just sort of keep myself good. Like, if I'm not doing it, I just feel bad. And I feel like even if you're not artistic or creative, maybe you like numbers, maybe like your dream is to be an accountant. Like, nothing bad against accountants, they make the world go around because they're accounting, but you can still appreciate it. Anyone can appreciate it because everyone feels emotions, like, to a certain extent. And maybe people might argue like sociopaths and stuff don't feel emotions, but like, if you, like, anyone can enjoy it. If you see, like, if you hear a song, is going to make you feel a certain way, even if it doesn't make you feel a way that you know straight away, boom, that makes me feel bad. If you like the song, 9 times out of 10 there's an emotion it's making you feel. It's probably like happiness, probably enjoyment, that is why we need it. So I think we need it just to keep us diverse, keep us sane, because you might have people from Central Africa that make music and there's whatever there, and that's good, and then you might have someone in, like, I don't know, like in China that makes music and it's completely different. But look at it this way, like people from 2 completely different cultures, different sides, yeah, make their own form of expression. It's rhythm, it's feeling it. It's like it's more music, but like, yeah, like you can feel it, you can express yourself, express your emotions, and for me, keep me sane. 24 hours. So if I've got 24 hours left to live, I mean, the first one is I'd probably try and spend enough time with the people that I care about, I guess, would be the first one. Like, I'd try and like, oh, it's a hard one. Yeah, I try and sort of spend enough time. But obviously, you've only got 24 hours, so, but like, is time ever really enough time? Like, if you spend time with someone, is there really ever enough time if you fully care about them? But like, if I had 24 hours, okay, so is it the first thing or just everything that I do in 24 hours? Everything. Okay, so I guess I'd probably have to go studio at one point. Last ever thing that I made. I'd probably eat very well. I'd get a lot of good food. I quite like Chinese food. I quite like spicy food as well. So yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go and get some good eat at some nice places. I probably would have a drink or two, maybe smoke a bit. Well, definitely would smoke and drink a bit if it was the last 24 hours. You know what? Yeah, I'd try and make it so that I could have something. Maybe put on, like, I don't, obviously, like, partying and stuff is kind of bad, but maybe put on like a little like early wake or something, like maybe like a celebration. Like, if I only had 24 hours, see the people that I want to see, because then if I could have a certain amount of time just with them people, like maybe if I put that towards the end of the 24 hours, I think that would be good, because I get to see everyone, I get to have a good experience, and then I guess I get to get some more time to kind of contemplate death, really. But like, no, yeah, eat a lot of nice food, see the people that I want to see and I care about, and yeah, record something. I'd spend some time with my cats. Just see, I don't know, just try and see, like, see as much as I could. Like, see the people. Those would be the most important things. The food definitely the most important thing. But food, the people, and like the music thing, like the last ones, those would be important. But like, see as much as I could, kind of see, maybe, and do what I could to leave a mark. Maybe leave a legacy, I guess. Leave something. But as long as I've seen the people that I care about, and I've done a few things that I want to do, and I guess that would probably be alright in the end. But it's a tricky one. 24 hours is not a long. I probably wouldn't sleep. I would need a lot of Red Bull. That would be. But yeah, 24 hours is not a long amount of time. But yeah, as long as I've seen the people that I want to see and eating the food that I want to eat, then yeah, I guess whatever else I do would be good. I'd be happy with.